So we're working on fox laying in a den, in a bed of leaves. And to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to draw a big circle or an oval.
Can you just keep working on it? We've already done it.
Yes. And then, starting over here, I'm going to make like a giant, looks like a letter C or a giant letter U that's looping around. Where this piece ends, I'm coming up like that. It almost looks like a triangle. This is my fox tail. And then this space right here, I can draw my little fox arm. This part is where my triangle nose is. And look, from here to here, I'm drawing 2 lines up, and a triangle, and a triangle, and now I have my cute little fox laying down. I'm going to go over it in a Sharpie. So again, I started by drawing an oval shape. Then I drew a giant U around it, or a letter C. This is going to be his fluffy white tail. And right here I have room to make his little arm. Triangle ear, and the foxes have kind of like a white mask, kind of like that raccoon. So I'm going to outline those eyes. So there is my fox. With a skinnier Sharpie, I'm going to add some little fur lines on his head. And we always like to give those little animals inside ears. And then look, this line's coming this way. So I am going to give a few fur lines, not a lot. Just a few fur lines going around my fox. Kind of fun to have them run off the page just a little bit. Once I've done that, then with my pencil, I'm just going to do it in a Sharpie so it's easier and so you can see it better. I'm going to work in a circle, and I'm going to draw a bed that my fox is laying in. And maybe it's got some sticks with berries on it. Maybe it's got some leaves. But I want to draw them, and I definitely want to give them the veins. So I'm going to fill in all the way around. But again, I'm going to work in a circle going around my fox. So last week we made these beautiful, beautiful foxes sleeping in a bushy little nest or den. Today, really lightly, if you have a lot of pencil lines, you might try to erase some of those pencil lines. Sometimes we write a little too dark with pencils and you can't erase them. But if you can, I'm going to erase some of those pencil lines that I had. We're going to be painting with watercolor today. And I have kind of a big brush because I have big areas that I'm going to paint. Again, always I'm going to wake up my colors, and since I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use, I'm going to wake up most of them. And I love this watercolor set because it has several oranges that we can use. Need to erase a little bit more on my tail. So on our fox, my face is white, so I'm going to start off by painting all the pieces that are orange. because your fox is kind of a brownish orange. And it's totally fine if you want to mix some of those colors together to get a good orange for your fox color. And this paint set has several different oranges that we could use. Kind of like this color. So I'm going to paint my fox orange, and I'm using a big brush. And again, I think it's always easier to outline the area that I want to paint. I'm going to outline it and then fill it in. And oh, look at that. See, my colors are taking a while to wake up. So I'm going to go back over. Sometimes that water takes a little bit of time to get it in there to really have them wake up. But this part of my fox face is white, and the bottom end of his tail is white. And I don't want to forget his ears. I'm going to go back in with some more of this orange on his face. So you can use a variety of oranges and maybe a little bit of brown to color that. I am going to use just a little bit of black, or you can use your black Sharpie to color in your fox nose. And then my fox's feet are also black. Now, it's tricky. Look, I'm going right by something else that I just painted. So sometimes it's good to have a Kleenex by, because if I get wet watercolor with another color, they'll blend together. So sometimes it's nice just to have a Kleenex by. In case I do that, I can use the Kleenex to absorb where I've messed up. Now for my background. I am going to paint my paper with water. And there are still lots of green leaves out there, so I'm going to kind of use some greens in my background. But I like to paint with water first. I'm going to wake up. I didn't get that green woken up. And again, this watercolor set has lots of great greens. So I want to use some of those greens. And again, I don't have to paint each leaf in by itself. I'm just going to start to paint my background in and hope that my colors start to blend together. Ooh, colors look so much better once they have a time to wake up. And again, like I said, this set of watercolors has three different greens that I can use. Oh, that's not green. That I can use to paint my background. Now you don't have to go all the way to the edge. This is a great green. And the more I keep painting, you'll notice that it's starting to dry over here, so they're not mixing quite as well. I'm actually going to come back in with a little yellow, kind of creating an ombre. Here at the edges, a little bit more of the yellow. That yellow and that light green here on the edges, all the way off my page. I'm painting on a board, and you guys will be painting on a board. So when you're all done, you just have to put your whole board on the drying rack. And I can come back in here with a few more little spots of green wherever I wanted to. You can get a smaller paintbrush if you want to go back and add some details, because the paint dries kind of fast. I don't want a lot of details because I like how it's all blending together. But if you want to add some of those leaves in a different color, you could. But there is my fox when I am all done. Again, I'm leaving the eyes white. I'm leaving the tail white. If you get some paint in there, again, we just want to get a little Kleenex to wipe it up. So I paint around your edges first, then fill it in. Then when I painted my background, I painted it with water first, and I used different tints and shades of green, to color. And then I used the light green and the yellow to do my edges.